Welcome to the Queen Confessionals video podcast. I'm joined here with our very first guest, Jennifer Balbina Sosa. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
I'm so excited to have her here today. I met Jennifer years ago when we first competed for the Mrs. Colorado America pageant. She was one of the first girls to reach out to me, and she has been my dearest friend ever since. She's a powerhouse in the real estate space. She is a leader in her community. I can't even go on and on and on about all the things she's doing within her community to make a difference in this world. And I'm just so excited to have her here today.
Thank you, Michaela.
Welcome.
And I'm super, super excited for your podcast.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for the invitation.
Awesome. Well, we're just going to start getting ready while we're talking. Thank you so much for watching.
Yes.
And yeah, feel free to subscribe. Let me know if there's anybody who you think needs to be on the Queen Confessionals podcast. I would love to have them. Or if you want to be a guest, please reach out to me. We need all of the queens telling their story right here in Colorado. So what do you like to use? What do you do first when you get ready?
The first thing, I guess I'm going to put a little bit of lotion. And this one is saying that it's like a night moisturizer, but honestly, I just love this brand. And that's kind of what I do, what I put on to moisturize my face. So I already washed it. Putting a little bit of cream. I use this. Well, this is Costco, guys. But I really, really love it. Every time I do a facial, everybody's always complimenting my skin. They're like, oh, God, it's so amazing.
Yeah.
And honestly, I just use Olay face wash and that lotion.
No,
and
whatever
it
works.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it is. You know, and I'm like the opposite because I use like 500 creams and I still have pimples. So like I use like literally like 5 different face washes. I use like 6 different serums, all the moisturizers. And then look, I still have like,
but you
it's
always
like,
had challenges with your skin. That's why, right?
Yeah, I have very acne prone skin. So it's like absolutely nothing works for my skin.
And how do you control it? How do you make sure that your face is balanced?
Literally, it's a lot of trial and error. I tried lots of different things, but mainly it's just a matter of my diet. I have to be really, really strict about my diet because if I eat a lot of like bread, then I'll break out. If I eat a lot of peanuts, I'll break out. There's lots of foods I have to like really stay away from, I've learned. And I think it all just really comes down to like what I'm eating and all of that. But anyways, you getting started with Mrs. Colorado, what made you get started with that?
Honestly, I'm even shocked that this is my second pageant. I never consider myself to be a pageant girl at all. And really what got me into it is because I run this event called Wine and Dresses, and we fundraise money for local causes. Mm-hmm. And that year we was raising money for this organization called From Silence to Saved. There was a big issue going on with human trafficking in Colorado. And actually it hasn't gone away. And they were doing amazing work. So we decided that we were going to focus in supporting, a nonprofit that is actually doing something about it. And From Silence to Save basically checked all the boxes. They are just boots on the ground. And we were so excited. We wanted to raise, I think it was 15 grand or 20 grand. So I was like, we have never raised that type of money. So I'm like, in order for me to achieve that success, I'm gonna have to do something different.
Yeah.
And actually a couple of months before I made that decision, I met Sylvia.
Huh? Sylvia, she is a former Mrs. Colorado American and Mrs. Colorado. What was hers, 2022? 2021?
Which one? But actually, I had a photo session for my business, and
that's thunder.
Good thing we're inside. For my business, I had a photo session. I still remember I just came back from Kenya, and I was like, you know what? I actually want to get professional help to do my makeup. It happened to be Sylvia, and when she was doing my makeup, she was like, you should join. You should compete. And I said, well, how much money have you raised? Yeah. How much money did you raise when you went? And I think she said 1,000. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
I'm trying to raise 15, 20 grand. That's not going to work. And then I'm like, okay, well, and then a month passed or 2 months passed, I think it was. And I thought about it. I'm like, well, maybe we won't be able to raise that kind of money with that exposure, but maybe we will be able to share awareness.
Yeah.
Of from Silence to Save, which is also another pillar of ours,
Right.
to share awareness of the nonprofit. So I decided to go for it, and I ended up hiring so many coaches, like a walking coach, interview coach. I would have never thought in my life I'll be hiring, and I loved it. I loved the whole process. I love the competing. I got to meet amazing women like you, and I'm hooked. I'm hooked. I'm hooked on, like, I definitely, since this pageant journey, I can say that I have learned so much about my hair and my makeup and beauty, and just asking myself questions to, like, learn more about who I am and what I want to be, and I love it. You
Yeah.
can't lose.
No, you
like
can't.
this process definitely helps me bring out the best version of myself. Really, Wine and Dresses is the one that pushed me to kind of do something like this, and here I am.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
This year was my second year in it.
Will you do more, or do you think you've kind of lived your time in pageantry, kind of met your goals, or do you feel like you have more to do?
Like, if I'm competing again, or what do you mean?
Like if you feel the need or the urge to compete again, or if you feel like, you kind of came what you came to do and you're ready to move on to new endeavors. Like you've had your, I always say like pageantry is a launching board. That's what many people say. It is like the diving board, the place that you spring from and you start. It's not the end goal, so winning that title isn't necessarily the end goal. It's kind of what comes from it. So I'm always interested if people have felt like you've come to that place yet, or if you're still working towards it.
That is such a great question, because that is so true. I've seen a lot of women in this journey, like, catapult to, like, many different fields, like Amanda, she's in politics, which is super cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, you got it. For me, I am planning to compete again, God willing, because there's two things. There's two things that I would like to accomplish in this new competition. And that is owning my story. I am going to meet with a speaking coach. It's like a public speaking coach. She's amazing. Her name is Martha. And you can put the link to her information. So I heard her story. She had done TED Talks before. And I love that she has nailed her story. And I feel like I know my past, and there's so many things that I can talk about, but I have not nailed, like, what is my story? I have been through so much. So I'm excited to explore that while I am preparing for competition. And I think just becoming a better public speaker. I think those two things, like owning my story and be able to speak it out. And I love how this competition of competing in Miss Colorado just gives you that platform to do just that.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not the end yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what
you
do.
Yes. But you tell me, you also competing? How do you feel?
Oh my goodness.
Are you excited? You look amazing. I can tell that you have lost a lot of weight.
Thank you. I'm working super hard because, I bought all of my wardrobe before I got pregnant last year to compete for Mrs. Colorado. And then I got pregnant, so I couldn't wear any of it. So I'm trying really hard to fit into all of just the clothes that I bought before I was pregnant, and that has been quite a journey, just trying to get back to the body I've already had before, which I'm sure so many people can relate to. It's like I've been in that body before, but it's so hard to get back there. But I'm excited. I'm literally making it to the stage. I will be making it there by the grace of God himself, because I literally have just been running into problem after problem after problem, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And so yeah, we are 10 days from leaving. I do not have a fun fashion outfit, which is like 50% of the score. Hopefully it will be here tomorrow. Yeah. And apparently the zipper is broken, so hopefully we can get that fixed. We'll see. I'm borrowing my gown because I lost a little too much weight for the gown that I already purchased. So oops. Yeah, in the wrong places. I lost weight in the wrong places, and now it doesn't fit me quite right. So I'm getting a new gown that I'm borrowing from a friend. Literally, it's just like every little thing. My husband did not get all of the days off that he needed to get off. So it's like, I'm traveling by myself with a baby. He's coming later with Ezekiel. So it's going to be literally, by the grace of God, when you see me on that stage, just know, thank you, Jesus. I didn't think I was going to make it there.
Oh man. But isn't that the journey though?
Yeah, it is.
That's so crazy. Like, competition, I think that's what, like, helps a woman become more resilient, because we are prepared for that. We're prepared for the fact that it's like, okay, the party needs to continue.
Yeah,
No
literally.
matter what it is, the party needs to continue. So
Mhm.
I have a funny story about that, and it's so crazy. You're 10 days away. And this honestly happened on, like what you're saying, everything went wrong on pageant competition weekend.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny because you know how during pageant week, Emily has this time where she tells her story and makes everybody want to cry. And I
Yeah.
was determined. See my face. I was determined that I was not going to cry. She was not going to make me cry. I said, I'm not going to cry. I need to stay strong because last year I did cry. Or the first competition I did cry. And I
Yeah.
feel like I was a hot mess afterwards.
Yeah, me too.
So this year, I said, Emily is not going to make me cry and I'm not going to cry. So I was like, okay, perfect. So the day, and that was like rehearsal day, I didn't cry. And I was so proud of myself. I'm like, look at myself. Okay, I did it, And, but little did I know how that actually backfired.
Oh, really?
Yes, because
you, like,
I
held it in.
didn't realize, and I wonder if that this is why Emily does it. Because I wondered that I was so stressed and I was holding on to so much emotions that my body. So I actually was diagnosed with something called complex PTSD
Uh-huh.
when I was 28, around 27, 28. And what happens is that sometimes when I am triggered or when I'm overwhelmed, my nervous system shocks.
Yeah.
And meaning like I am not in control anymore. So
Yeah.
what happened was on that Thursday, I think so, Thursday was the interview. I killed it. I did amazing. It was incredible. Friday was the rehearsal when she was making us cry. And I was like, I'm not going to cry. Well, Saturday came. And because I felt so overwhelmed, because I had so much emotion penned up, my body, like, that's just the best way that I can explain it, was shocked. Like, my nervous system was like, you're done. You're done. You're shutting down. And it was so hilarious because, first of all, on the day of competition on Saturday, I forgot my sarong.
Uh-huh.
So I had it to borrow for someone.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, hey, the party needs to continue no matter what happens.
Yeah.
And then I went upstairs to change for my evening gown, and one of the girls was like, was it the evening gown? No, it was after rehearsals. After rehearsals, one of the girls, one of our pageant sisters was like, sis, you look like you're not even having fun. And she was absolutely right.
Yeah.
Because my CPTSD triggered.
Yeah.
It's so terrible, and I hope people understand what I'm saying. This is the best way that I can put it. I kind of become like a narcissist. It's like I shut down.
Yeah.
I have no personality.
Yeah.
My body's overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. And I'm not like bubbly and excited.
Yeah.
I'm usually like a very sociable kind of person. I literally shut down. Everything shuts down. And when she told me that, I was like, oh my God, people can see it. People can see that I'm not being my normal self.
Yeah, like your authentic
So
self.
I don't know why, but I brought in my favorite, which is I like to do jump rope every time I wake up in the morning.
Okay.
So I brought it with me. So I was doing jump rope. No. I knew why I brought it because that morning of competition day, I realized how I was feeling. I realized that I was like, like, oh my God, my body is shut down. So I brought the jump rope. So like after rehearsals and like maybe a few hours before competition, I'm like jumping rope. I'm doing my exercises in the changing room. Like I'm doing everything to wake up my body, and I cannot. My body was like, no, you're done. You have no personality. There's nothing. And then I remember it was so crazy because my hairstylist did my hair and she did such an amazing job, and she did my makeup. She did an incredible job. And I couldn't show my gratitude. You know what I mean? I actually had to like send her a text message like, I'm so sorry. I couldn't express how grateful I was.
Yeah.
I know I look so
Yeah.
so, what is the word? I don't know, but so blank,
Yeah.
So she was like, oh, I understand. And I feel so bad because I'm like, oh my God, but the party has to continue. Like, you know, we came here to compete. I have to give 100%. I said, Jennifer, you know, you came here for that. You're going to have to make it work. You know, Jennifer, you came here to do this. No matter how you're feeling right now, just work with what you have. Work with what you have. Actually, I was so proud of myself because this time around, all those small things that happened, like I forgot my sarong. I think I dropped one of my earrings. I don't remember. There was like a few things. Oh, I forgot my number.
The one thing they're like, don't forget your number.
I forgot my number. And I was like, oh,
I did that the first year and I had to run all the way up the stairs, all the way back down.
I couldn't find it. I went all the way upstairs. I couldn't find it. People were helping me. I couldn't find it.
Oh my goodness.
And all these things went wrong. But what I was proud of this year is that I was like, you know what? Party needs to continue. You're going to have to keep going no matter what. You know, I was on stage. You know, I did my best. And it was an incredible experience. But that is one of the things that I'm very proud of myself. That I'm like, hey, this is who I am. This is... OC, a complex PTSD is part of who I am. And I'm going to own it. And this is how my body feels, and we're gonna do our best with it, you know. So, and I kind of felt a little bit, honestly. So after that situation, I realized I'm like, maybe this is my story. Maybe this is my story that, you know, having to live with complex PTSD and dealing with it, how, you know, it has allowed me to be resilient, and it has its cons, but it also has a lot of its pros. And so, but one of the things is like, oh my God, a lot of things went wrong, and I just had to kind of move forward. And I think it's just part of the journey, just like you were saying, you know, that you had a few things going on.
And you ended up doing better this year than you did your first year.
Which is so crazy.
and you felt undone. You know?
Right. Oh my God, that is so true too. I did end up like, you know, telling myself like, just go out there and do your thing. So I'm very grateful. That is so true. I did end up doing better. And that was all by the grace of God too. You know,
seriously.
I could, and that's one of the things that I regret is that when they asked me, you know, since I was part of the top 5, when they asked me, which was the easiest questions in the world, you know, they asked me like, well, what do you wish? I think tell me a wish or something like that. And, you know, I talked about volunteer work and stuff like that. I cannot believe I completely forgot to mention wine addresses or any of the work that I did, which is like, what? But I wish I could have spoken about my complex PTSD. I wish I could have said, I'm feeling disassociated right now, and I'm about to catch a flight with my daughter in a few hours to celebrate her daughter. I wish that that we get there safe, and also that I'll be able to feel this moment, you know, this amazing, incredible thing that I just finished doing. And people with complex PTSD, we don't get to experience that. Sometimes amazing things can be happening to us, but at the same time, we have to live with how our body wants to react. It's so hard to explain, but I hope people that have complex PTSD can understand what I'm saying.
I'm sure they do. I don't personally live with that, but I do live with like anxiety, depression. And so I can definitely relate to that with just feeling like you're not completely like in every moment that you want to be in, just having to kind of pull yourself up out of it.
So I wish I could have said something like that, because I feel like it would have impacted maybe someone in the audience that maybe has the same thing. Like, wow, she has complex PTSD and she's up there. I can do it too. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's like, that's what this is all about. You know, it's not only the queen journey or the competition journey, but it's like, hey, we're also in this journey called life. Yeah. And, you know, what are you know, how are you impacting this world? I see this competition of a pageantry more than just, you know, winning the crown. It really is like, how can I use this whole journey to impact and inspire others? And I think that would have been a great opportunity, instead of like, you know, saying something that I rehearsed. You know, I should have used the moment and be present and say, hey, this is it, you know. But anyways.
I think that you actually like learn that when the more that you do pageantry. I think when you first get into it, because when I first, like my first year, I thought, okay, what is it that they want to hear? What do they want me to say so that they pick me to win? What is it? What is the secret sauce? Like I feel like
Right.
I like needed to know what do I go in there and what do I say? So like the first time I was like the wrong approach. Like I was so rehearsed. I was like working with my pageant coach. Like, tell me what I need to say. What am I supposed to say? And she's like, like your story. And that's what they were always saying. Like your story. You need to tell them about you. You need to do this. But I don't think it clicks until you're like having those experiences and you're having those moments and you're connecting with people and you're hearing how other people express their story, and then you kind of take that time to reflect and inner and find your own, your own power and your own voice and all the places where your story is important and needs to be told. Because I think so often we're told like, oh, that's not like a big enough trauma, or like that's not important enough, but it is, it all is. And so I think that sharing our story is so important.
Yeah, you're so right. You're absolutely so right that sometimes we can get stuck. Well, I can speak for myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get stuck of like, we are also in a competition. What is it going to take? At the end of the day, you would never regret being authentic.
No.
Also, and that is so true. I think, also you feel so much pressure,
You do. And that's the other thing, just remembering that, like, you have, like, I think what helped me too, I did a interview, or I did judging for a pageant, and so I had to listen to interviews, and when the judges coordinator was telling us, like, what are you guys looking for? They're like, you are not looking at this girl compared to that girl. Who's better? No, you're looking at how this person presents themselves in that moment, what they say to you in that moment, and if you connect to it, that's what you're looking for. You're not saying, is this girl better than that girl? And I feel like that really helped me to realize, like, you are in competition with yourself, not just in pageants, but in life. Like, you are always just in competition with yourself. And so if you're always just worrying about, like, oh, like, what's that girl doing? Or like, oh, she's better than me because she just started this business and she's making so much money, or she's doing better than me because, she's so far, wherever in her journey. I think it's just important that we're not, comparing ourselves. We're always finding, our own way in life. But also just talking about, that brings me into wine and dresses. I know you mentioned that you wish you would have talked about wine and dresses more.
Oh my goodness.
I would love, I know about wine and dresses. I know all about it, but I would love to hear from you. What made you start Wine and Dresses and the JBS Foundation, Awareness Foundation, and what brought you to all your service work?
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a great question. Realized as I've been on my way to discover my story, what is my story? And I realized that, like my heart of volunteerism and giving back to the community really started in high school. I remember the last year I had a social worker. Her name was Zulima Cox, and the social worker team as well, Marianne and Elizabeth, and they did like a toy drive for kids that were in the hospital. And honestly, we did the toy drive. We collected a good amount of toys and we gave it, I think it was like during Christmas time, and I was hooked. I was like, this is so amazing. That's incredible that you can, just to see their smiles, they were just so happy that we were just there. I think the toy was a plus. They was just so excited to kind of talk to us and for us to be there with them, because it could be very lonely, for people that have to stay in the hospital for a long time. And I was like, this is amazing. And ever since that, I have always done like charity work and fundraising and volunteering for like dozens, maybe hundreds, honestly. Of organizations, which is so amazing. And Wine and Dresses was something like supernatural that came. So there was a time in my life where I needed to downsize, and my girlfriends were always asking, well, where do I get my dresses from? Like, where do you get your dresses from? And I was like, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to donate 50 of my dresses. I'm going to have them, all of them bid on it. And that's how Wine and Dresses was born. So we had a lot of dresses and a lot of wine. That's it. And that's why it's called Wine and Dresses. We had a lot of wine and a lot of dresses. And they had a blast. I was just like, just having fun with it and trying them on and having them bid on it. And we raised like $500 for Warren Village. And that was pretty fun. Everybody had a great time. And they're like, hey, you're going to do it again next year? And I was like, sure, I'll do it again next year, but I'm not going to donate 50 more dresses, I'm like, you guys better all pitch in, So, and then the next year, I asked a lot of girlfriends if they can donate some dresses, and from there on, it just built on, and this year is going to be our 8th year. doing it. Yeah, and it's just so amazing. I just finished talking to the executive director of Dress for Success, Amara Martin,
Okay.
a few days ago,
Yeah,
and
that's really cool.
we're looking into collaborating. So now that's another fun part about Wine and Dresses is the collaboration that I'm able to do with so many incredible people and businesses and other nonprofits, all for to be a force of good. So I really love that. So that is Wine and Justice. What people don't know is that is one initiative of the JBS Awareness Foundation. That we have two other initiatives, which is our quarterly volunteer event that we love to ask the community or welcome the community to be part of our volunteer event. We just did one just recently for the Denver Rescue Mission. So we gathered a few women to come join us. And we were able to volunteer at the new Denver Rescue Mission property, which is amazing what they're doing there. And if you have not heard of Denver Rescue Mission, they feed about 1,000 to 1,500, I believe, people a day. If you guys get a chance to volunteer, the volunteer process for Denver Rescue Mission is so easy too. And I mean, it's always amazing every time I go. So we're able to do that. Earlier this year, we did Ronald McDonald House. You were there for the Ronald McDonald House. That was pretty fun.
I loved that.
We did also the children's home as well. So every quarter we try to do a new nonprofit, which is fun, just gathering the community together to give back. And it's welcome to men and women. Of course, because of our sisterhood and Wine and Dresses, we get a lot of women volunteers to come, but men are also welcome to come. And then our other initiative that we started a couple of years ago, which is so amazing and I'm so excited about, is Wine and Dresses Global, which now we're able to partner with global nonprofits, because a lot of people donate dresses to Wine and Dresses, and after the event we have so many leftovers, so we use a portion of the business attires to go and collaborate with other nonprofits in different countries and kind of be able to bless them with that resource of giving business dresses to them. And that's amazing. So that if it's not real estate, it's Wine and Dresses. So those two things are my life, my passion, my calling, and I love it. I love it. It's so amazing. So, and then I love the fact that I get to bring my daughter to, for her to see what I do, and how I make a difference. And it's so important to, life is not only about making money, but also about, how are you giving back, passing your blessing forward. And I'm happy that I get to share that with my daughter as well.
But no, I think it's so important too that we bring our kids into giving back and into community work, because just like you said, you got started when you were a kid, when you were a teenager.
Yeah.
And same thing for me. I got started when I was in high school because I did student leadership and student council. And so it was like part of our grade to go to community events, to give back, to find ways to make our school a better place. And so I feel like just that experience alone has carried on with me throughout my whole, it's just a couple of times a month. And I think it's so important that we instill that into the next generation. We need to teach our children to give back to their community. We need to teach our children to show up as villagers, to show up and be a part of a village. Nobody is ever going to turn up for you, especially in like your deepest times of need. And so that is what I found the most power in, just meeting all the different women in pageantry, is the community that we've built, being able to show up and to meet all these incredible people, be a part of all these incredible organizations, as well as teach our children that. And like you said, just having our children be a part of the initiatives we're already doing, so that they have ideas of their own. They can see problems right in their own world that they want to solve, and people that they want to inspire, and just grow up to be the next generation of leaders, because I think we have not enough leaders in the world ever.
I honestly do think, I'm a believer when it comes to parenting, that we actually learn from what we, see our parents do, not from what they say, but from what they do. So I pray that I'm a good role model to my daughter so that she can see. And actually, that's what I wrote in my pageant bio. It's like, that's my goal, is be able to provide what women excellence look like to my daughter so that she can pass it on to future generations to come. I do want to leave that legacy. What does women of excellence looks like? And I think, I love pageantry because with everything that, I am learning, I think is helping me reach that goal. And I really, really like that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Talking about your real estate business, what got you into real estate? I know you've been in it for quite a while, 10 years now. But what
Yes.
got you started? And
Yeah, so this year is actually my 11th year too, which is a big milestone. And also, real estate was so interesting how it happened. I never met a realtor in my life. I didn't even know what real estate was or what a realtor was or anything like that. So what happened was that I graduated with a hospitality management degree.
okay.
And I worked in hotels for a long time, like 10 years. But I also in between traveled. I enjoyed all those friends and family perks that comes with it. So I
Yeah.
took full advantage of it.
Yeah.
But my favorite position in the hotel industry was a sales manager. And when I became a sales manager, that's when I realized that I had a gift for sales. Because I'm like, wait a second, I'm doing an amazing job selling these rooms. Then that means I can sell the entire hotel,
Yeah.
of course. So I was like, well, can I do this? You know, and I also remember watching Oprah on TV, and she said, well, just imagine, create a goal that is like out of your mind, something that you think is not even achievable. And I was like, well, I would love to sell hotels. Let's do it. Let's go after that. And then I started doing research on real estate. I realized that I had to get my real estate license, got my real estate license in New York. And yeah, and then I actually ended up leaving to Brazil for a little bit. I lived in Brazil and I had a really good time. When I came back, you know, I was working at a hotel, and then the hotel actually ended up being part of the hotels that got hit with Hurricane Sandy in New York. And it closed down for a little bit. Actually, it closed down for a little bit afterwards, and then it opened. And I remember that we had to transport all of the guests from the hotel to another hotel, like in Midtown. And I was the operations manager, and I did a wonderful job at it. It was amazing. But it was so crazy. I did a wonderful job at it, but the team did not like me. This is something that I learned just recently. Something that I learned just recently in life. And as a leader and, you know, as a person that has people under them, is that sometimes I get so tunnel vision to get something done that I lose the humanity of it. So anyways, that's exactly what happened. You know, everybody did not like me after that, even though we executed, you know, got everybody safe.
Yeah.
I got fired, and I'm like, well, what am I going to do next? Actually, I remember when I got walked out, I was like, you know what? I did an amazing job. I'm going to take on myself to a really nice dinner.
Yeah.
And also, I am going to take myself out to a Broadway show. I've been wanting to see Wicked. Got myself
gosh.
really, really good tickets to see
jealous.
Wicked. And went on a nice dinner. And I was like, I'm just going to celebrate myself because I know I did an amazing job.
Period.
No matter what happened. But then I was like, well, what's next? What am I going to do next? And then I'm like, well, I always wanted to sell hotels. Like, I always wanted to be in the real estate hotels. And I decided to focus on that. I sent my resume out to like 35 different firms all around the country that focus on hotel properties. And I had a firm here in Colorado that said we would love to have a hotel broker.
Oh, wow.
They interviewed me, they loved me, and, you know, they had a small hotel that they were working with, and I was able to, actually start my real estate career by doing commercial.
Oh,
so
wow.
the first 2 years, that's all I focus on, hospitality properties. And even though I loved it, I enjoyed it, the deals were too long. They were too crazy long. And I'm like, well, let me try residential and see if I really like residential. And I decided to try residential, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the people, the stories. The transactions are way shorter. And a lot of my clients became my friends, and I love it. I've been doing it for now 11 years. Sometime this month, it's 11 years. So that's what brought me into real estate.
What would you tell people that say it is too hard to become a homeowner? Because I was actually so shocked when I became a homeowner. I thought it was way harder. So honestly, I was like, that's all that it takes to become a homeowner? But what would you say? to people who think it's, because for me, I had never met anybody who owned a home. So it seemed like my mom never owned a home. My parents never did, other than my grandparents, they were the only ones. But like my dad, my mom, they never owned a home. So for me, it felt like completely unachievable. Like that felt like something you do when you're like about to retire. Like you're real.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like when you get older, no, I think, I mean, real estate is a fantastic way to invest for sure. What I realized is that a lot of first-time home buyers have that same thought that you had. Like, this is scary. I don't even think this is achievable. And that's the biggest roadblock is their fear and their negative thoughts. But when they speak with the right real estate professional, they pick up the right realtor. One of the things that I love about my business is that it's called hospitality real estate because we want to make sure that we always give the best customer service. And part of giving the best customer service is to help them quiet those negative thoughts down. It's to be it, and also like educating them as much as possible. I think when people have the right education and the right information, they'll be able to take that leap of faith. But if it makes it even harder if they have not met someone that have done it. Like if they don't have family members or anything like that have done it. But usually is their fear that, and that makes me so sad. Is their fear that makes them not make that decision. 90% of my business is referrals, and it's for that reason. It's because I know that that's like a mental blockage for a lot of people, and I try to kind of letting them know, hey, this is what's gonna happen. This is gonna be your thinking thought. I want you to focus on me. Focus on this. You got this. Actually, I had one of my clients text me today and she was like, wow, like you have been so amazing. I'm going to refer you to my twin brother. Thank you so much for making this such a great process.
Yeah.
And it's like, like you just have to, in order to, if owning a home is what you want to do, then you have to find the right team. You have to find the right professional. I don't think I'm for everybody, but I do have to say that like one of my priorities is customer service. And in order to provide the best customer service is to understand people's thinking patterns.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. That stops a lot of people from moving forward for sure.
That stopped me forever because I always thought, I thought you needed to have like, $20,000 to buy a house. I was like, I don't got that kind of money. And then once we started working with the correct lender, we started working with, our real estate agent, all of those things. And they were like, no, you don't need that. We just need to put you in the right kind. That's one way to go about it, but not everyone needs to go about it that way.
That's a good point. I think shame also stops people. They're like, well, I don't have the right credit. I don't have the right money. I don't have this. I don't have that. Not knowing that there's so many different programs and so many different ways that can make that happen. So you definitely want to find a realtor that you can be absolutely vulnerable. And that's one of the things that I tell my clients, like, you have to be 100% honest with me, and you're going to have to also 100% trust me in what I'm telling you. But yes, for sure, that's definitely a big deal. It's just having the right team, the right realtor, the right real estate professional, and the right lender for sure.
Yep.
And I'm so proud of you for making that decision. So, because at what age did you guys purchase your home? How old were you?
It was 6 years ago now. Oh, 7, no. Almost 7 years ago.
So you were how old?
So we were, I think I was 26 maybe, and then Abel was like 30.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so, but before that we were renting.
Yeah.
I always rented my whole life, and I moved every year of my life until we bought our house.
Really?
Yeah, every year of my life I moved until we bought our house, and I haven't moved since. I was like, I'll never move probably. And if I do, and then that's going to be where I die. You're going to have to drag me out of here.
Oh, I love it. That's a big deal too, the stability.
It is.
It makes such a big difference.
Yeah, and of course, just I grew up with a single mother, so my mom, she did her, her best, but we always rented, and so we had to move. It wasn't like, of course, if she wanted to stay, she probably would have, but it was always like, well, rent's going up, time to move. So yeah, I'm so thankful for my mom for doing, everything she could to give us the most stable home.
Shout out to
I love her.
so
She'll have to be on here. She'll be very boring on here though because she's got like perfect skin, perfect face. She does no makeup. She just does like a little
She
like
doesn't do makeup?
she just does her eye makeup. She does like eyeshadow and mascara, and then she's like ready to go. And I'm like,
oh my gosh, she's a natural
in my dreams,
beauty.
I need to conceal. I need to foundation. I need to build a structure. Of
Look
my,
at this.
I know, literally. But yeah, what would you say? Giving advice for, mothers, just owning being a mother. And so I would love to hear all of your words of wisdom.
I love being a mom. I think I have the best daughter in the world. She's amazing. Motherhood has been an incredible journey, honestly. Everybody's journey is different, and I'm getting emotional. I'm going to try not to cry. My daughter's right there, everybody. So I don't have a motherhood advice, but I can tell you my story.
Yeah.
Of motherhood. Because there's so many different type of parenting. Like there's so many different I don't think there's one way of parenting that's the right way. Yeah. I think, it's a combination of who you are and what your child is. Who your child is as well. Like you have to be able to dance with that. And everybody's different. But I remember when I found out that I was pregnant. This might be too much information, but I knew the day that I got pregnant.
Yeah.
I knew the day that it happened. Like, I called my sister and I was like, I'm pregnant. She was like, wait, what did you have? I was like, today. She's like, what? And a few weeks after, we did a test and yeah, I happened to be pregnant. Like, I knew in my heart, I was like, I'm pregnant. And I was excited. And then it was so crazy because I'm already a very sensitive, emotional person. Mm-hmm. But it was like from 0 to 1,000. Yeah. Like, I actually end up having prepartum depression.
Okay, yeah.
Prepartum?
Is it prenatal?
Prenatal. And I didn't know at the time, of course, everything, I found out then afterwards. But I would just cry every day. I was a crier. That was my biggest symptom, I was crying. Everything will make me cry. I was like so sad crying. And it was so crazy also, like being pregnant also brought up like all my childhood trauma. So I had to like start therapy, which is so crazy. So like here I am, like this emotional person and, already, and then all these trauma, from childhood that I completely forgot came up. So I was like, doing therapy, a lot and crying a lot. But after my first semester or my first trimester, I felt so ridiculously good. It's not even funny. Nobody could stop me. I did it all. I did like pregnant yoga. I mean, I did it all. Even for, this got me in trouble. So when I think I was like 6-7 months. We ended up having our baby moon vacation. We did a cruise and we ended up going to Jamaica. Guys, I had this belly. I want to find that photo, but I had this belly and I'm climbing.
Hey, you'll have to find it and I'll insert it here.
Yes, I was climbing. I was hiking or climbing waterfalls in Jamaica, somewhere in Ocho Rios, I think it is. And the people were looking at me like, oh my goodness, what are you doing here? But I honestly, after my first trimester, I had the most amazing pregnancy. I loved it. I did it all. I was very active. I was also part of a dance team. So I performed a lot, I danced a lot. I really, really enjoyed my pregnancy after the first trimester. Yeah. And then, but after we came back from Jamaica, I had a really, really long meeting. It was a real estate meeting and literally it was like 5-6 hours long. And I kind of felt sick after that. Can you believe that I felt sick from sitting down?
After going on vacation.
Right. I was like, what? So I was actually going the route of like a natural birth. Uh-huh. And so I called what is it called?
Like midwife?
Yeah, my midwife. And I said, hey, I went to the bathroom. I had a long meeting. I went to the bathroom and I said I was bleeding. And she was like, well, I'm not in town. You should go to the emergency room because we shouldn't even take a risk. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'll go to the emergency room and just check. So the midwife that was I gave birth at Rose Medical Center. They have like a midwife also program. The midwife that looked at me, she looked down and then she looked at me And then she looked down and she said, I can see the baby's hair.
Oh my God.
And I was like 6, 7 months. I forgot something like that. I'm like, what? I said, she was like, you're going into labor right now. You got to go into labor and delivery. I was like, what? I was like so in shock. And, thank God, Olivia's dad was there and we went to labor and delivery. And in labor and delivery, they're like, we have to give her, you have to like take a shot. Like I have to put a shot to make sure like what's going on in the belly. And I forgot what kind of shot it is. It was to kind of see what was going on. If I had fever, everything was going on inside. And I was like, no, I don't want no shot. I don't want no intervention or anything like that. And the doctor was so mad because I decided when he told me what exactly he was trying to do, the procedure he was trying to do, I said, well, you have to give me a few minutes. I want to think it over. I want to go over it with my husband, and I want to make a decision. And then he left the room. I literally started doing research and started praying about it. And, I told my husband at the time, I was like, honestly, I feel fine. I feel like everything's okay. I need you to trust me on this, but I don't think we should do the thing, the needle thing that he was trying to do. And he was like, okay, I trust, this is the best decision for our daughter. And the doctor came in and he was like, I was like, no, we're not going to do this. And he was like, you're trusting Dr. Google over me or something like that. And I was like, wow, like that is so crazy. Like, what is so wrong for me to, as a mother and in my intuition and praying about it, make that decision? I know you're a professional, but I know how my body feels. Anyways, I'm so proud of myself. I said no. And he was like, well, you're going on bed rest then. So they didn't let me leave Rose Medical Center. So I was in Rose, I think it was like a month or 2 months. Something like that. It was like a month or 2 months in Rose Medical Center in bed rest. And I can only take a shower like every 2 days. And they had me with my feet up. And, I got stuck there, for like, again, like a month or 2 months or something like that. And then Olivia came and it was so amazing. So I didn't have postpartum depression. But it's so interesting that I have prenatal depression. And it was so crazy. So after that, everybody's motherhood journey is so different. So remember I told you that I have complex PTSD?
Yeah.
So because of my complex PTSD, and I'm curious to know if there's other women that can connect with this, but I couldn't connect with my daughter.
Okay.
I had that blank face or that blank,
like that disassociated.
That disassociation, exactly.
Yeah.
That disassociating feeling. And I had to, again, take myself into therapy and figure this out, like what was happening. How is it possible that my own daughter was triggering me? Like, what in the world? Like, this is crazy. Motherhood and being a mom is all I ever wanted in my life.
Yeah.
And I have this precious little one. How is it possible that she's triggering me? So I had to go to therapy, for like a good 2 years in order to like learn how to basically connect, and be able to reprogram my mind that it's safe to have this little one.
Yeah.
So for me now I have this incredible relationship with my daughter and I love it so much. I love it. Well, actually it's so crazy. So I went from disassociating to connecting to controlling. Then I became a very controlling mom.
Same.
Like controlling everything. And then I had a mentor of mine and she told me, she was like, honestly, I was like that before. And what happened was that when my daughter became a teenager, she became rebellious of like being so controlling.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I better change this, this. So now I'm not controlling at all. I feel like I'm more all I want to do is be able to provide comfort and strength to my daughter.
Yeah.
So just pour as much wisdom as possible into her. And when she's having a bad day or something's going wrong, just be able to provide comfort for that. So I think for me at this point in motherhood, that's like has been my role. Yeah. So for me, the journey of motherhood, oh my God, from prenatal to then I cannot connect with her complex PTSD, from being controlling and now like, having this amazing relationship with my daughter where she trusts me and she tells me everything. I love it. It's crazy. It's insane, the evolution of being a mother. So I don't know. What about you? What I'm curious to know, what does motherhood been looking like for you?
You know, for me, same thing. I always wanted to be a mom forever. Like, I was always like the little mom. Like, I was always taking care of my little brother. Like, I was always like, every time like the parents had all their kids, I'm coming over for parties. I'm bring them over. Michaela will watch them. So I was always like, grew up being like everyone's little mom. And so I always wanted to have kids, but I was always so set. Like, I cannot have no kids until I have like the perfect husband. Because I couldn't.
Wait, how did you make that decision? You're like,
just from growing, I think just growing up with a single mom, I'm like, I want to make sure I have a really good husband so that when I have kids, that like everything is really secure.
Yeah.
We're feeling really good. I have help. I'm not like on my own because God bless my mom. God bless single mothers. God bless every single mother in the world because it is hard. It's hard to have a second parent. Like I can't imagine being alone. And so for me, I was just like, you know, I could be single forever unless I meet somebody great. And then I met Abel. And then right away, I was like, oh, we're having babies. Because I want to be a mom and you're going to be an amazing father. Like you're everything that I could have dreamed of. So I was so happy to become a mother. And then even now, like I've gone through so many different challenges. Like with Ezekiel, he was in speech therapy for years and years and years because he did not say a word. And I'm like, I failed. I can't teach my own child how to talk. And so even just learning like that you have no control over those little things. You just are there to support them, raise them up, do your very best, and teach them how to navigate the world the best that they can. I think just surrendering to motherhood, trusting in it, and just knowing like you're doing the best you can do. You really can't do anything wrong. I mean, you can, but you can't. You know, if you're doing your best, you're not going to do anything wrong. You know,
but it's hard. It really is hard. I would love to hear that. Like, I love what you just mentioned in regards to there was a one point that I was like, I can't do this as a mother. You know, when you know, when you were having trouble, when Ezekiel was having trouble with the speech. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Like,
I was just, honestly, it's just such a, it's like I said, you feel so much like you have failed. Like there's so many little things that you have to do. And you're like, well, what have I been doing wrong? Like, I feel like, you know, I'm feeding him. I'm doing this. I'm trying to teach him. I'm, you know, playing with him, doing all of the things. And you still feel like you're coming up short. But again, like I said, I feel like I forgot that it's not all on you. Like you do have your village. You do have people that are there. There's a reason that we have those resources out there for people who it's their job to teach kids how to talk. And so once I kind of, you know, realized that I'm not doing anything wrong. I just need to find the right people to help me.
Amen.
We reached out. We got early intervention. Now he's doing amazing. And now I'm like, amazing. He does not stop talking. He's the biggest talker. He will talk your ear off. And he's doing really well. So for me, I think it was just a matter of figuring out like, okay, you do not have to know all the answers. You don't know how to, you don't have to know how to do this. You don't know how to, you don't have to figure it all out. Like there's people that can help you. And then feeling the confidence of like, okay, I can reach out for help. I think is so important in anything, just reaching out for help because there are people that want to help.
Absolutely, because, you know, when I was telling my mom about, like, I couldn't connect with my daughter, she didn't understand it. She was like, what are you talking about? You just had this child. And I was like, so, yeah, no, absolutely, you're right. I don't know what how life would be if I didn't have that therapist walk me through it and tell me, like, you know, this is beyond your control how you feel, but this is this is where you are, and this is what it takes for us to get to point B. So,
so I think it just all comes right back down to that village and raising your kids up around strong people that are there to support you. And I think that makes all the difference.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, motherhood is surrendering. I can connect with that.
Yeah, you just completely have to surrender, and that's the best thing you can do. And just trust in, you know, the instincts that you have, that you're doing your very best, and all of the things.
Yeah, no, like, and it's the same thing. Motherhood is just like, you know, when, I don't know if you experienced the same thing, but when I was pregnant, everybody wanted to share their pregnancy horror story.
Oh, yeah.
But then my pregnancy ended up being so different, you know, from it. And motherhood is kind of like that. Everybody wants to share their motherhood story and how their daughter. But at the end of the day, you know, for me, at this moment in my life, you know, as a mother, like I've been praying a lot to God to kind of show me, to help my daughter find her identity in Christ. And now I'm leaning a lot in God, like you said, leaning towards other people to kind of help you, you know, throughout this process. So I'm just, you know, leaning a lot in God to help me figure out what is her identity, and then to help me teach her who she is in Christ.
Yeah.
So that is very exciting. And I think I remember somebody said this, and I think it's so true that, as a parent too, you have the opportunity to parent yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
That it's like, oh my goodness, I end up figuring out my identity in Christ last year.
Like, you're still learning.
And I'm trying to teach my daughter, like now, like not now, but at least get her started.
Yeah.
What that looks like.
Exactly.
So, and I think that's also the fun part about me being a mother, is that you get to learn, you get to grow, and then pass it on to your children.
What is something you would tell your younger self today?
And let's see. Something that I would tell my younger self. I would tell myself, gotta own your story. Own your story. If you had childhood trauma growing up, then that's just part of your history. Own it, and it's okay. You can make something more beautiful. Life doesn't stop there. And also, love everything about who you are. Love your skin, love your hair, love everything about you. I think for me in high school, I definitely was extremely embarrassed because I felt that I wasn't beautiful enough. Actually, so my family, we're from Dominican Republic, and in Dominican Republic, people that have like curvy, thick women are like the most desired.
Yeah.
And the most beautiful. And I was like a stick. I really didn't have I was so skinny, like super skinny, and I was like so embarrassed about it. So in high school, I will actually, which is so crazy, I will actually wear like 3 tights or 4 tights, something like that, under my jeans.
Yeah.
Just so they can fill it up.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy. And also I have big feet. I'm size 10.
Girl, me too.
So size 10 feet, and I did not like how I was so skinny.
I did not know we could share shoes. We could share shoes.
You're testing dresses and shoes?
Okay,
now
sorry.
I love it. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm just like, mental note.
I love it. So I would wear like all these pants under, like all these tights under my pants, just so that I can, I look a little bit curvy, or at least a little bit filled up. And also, like, I hated my big feet, so I would wear like smaller shoes, even though they hurt me, even though I couldn't fit them. I would still wear them because I thought they looked pretty.
Yeah.
So, but it was hurting me. I was not being authentically myself.
Yeah.
I didn't really love my body. I didn't love my feet. I didn't love a lot of things. I wanted to just fit in.
Yeah.
So I think I would tell my younger self, like, love who you are, love who God made you. You're beautiful just the way you are.
Mm-hmm.
And also own your story, no matter what it is, no matter what happened to you in the past or in your childhood.
Yeah.
Own that story, and just know that you have the power to make something, something more beautiful in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I was also, I feel like that is an experience probably most girls have, even the most girls who we would perceive as the most beautiful, the most popular, the most, perfect, they even probably still have all their own issues. Because even me growing up, same thing. I was always so embarrassed. Like, I have big feet. I'm taller than every boy in the whole entire school. I'm like, they're making fun of me because I'm taller than them. Or even just, I'm a super awkward person. So just even being like my own awkward, funny self around people would be hard because, kids are mean. They'll find a way to make fun of you for it. So then you want to dim your own light. You want to make yourself different. And so I think it's so important that girls hear that, so that they can, really reflect and understand that it gets better. And truly, when you're young and the things that people are making fun of you over, or the things that you feel insecure about, are just projections of other people's insecurities. But that's something you don't learn until you get old.
Right.
And you're like, okay, that's probably why. They probably were hating themselves.
I think it's also like society pressure.
It is.
Especially, we didn't even have social media growing up.
No, I can't imagine.
So we didn't have that growing up, but still, it was like, especially in New York, listen, like when it comes to like fashion,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had to get it together,
Yeah.
you know? So, yes, I was definitely feeling those pressures that I had to look good. My body has, everything had to look amazing. But yeah, no, yeah, society, I agree with you. The societal pressure is something that everybody usually probably have to grow out of.
Yeah,
And
kind of
you have
grow
to
through
realize,
it.
like, oh, your lashes look amazing.
Oh, thank you. Abel is out there. He just told me. He said he just saw it. So it's up to her. She wants to do your brush real quick.
Yes.
Okay.
Olivia, you ready to do my blush? And this is my beautiful daughter, Olivia Rose.
Hi, Olivia.
So she said that she wanted to do my blush. Let's put a
Perfect.
little bit more because I love blush, and I
Me
know you
too.
like blush too.
I still have to put my final blush on. This isn't even my final boss blush. We need more.
Amazing. I
need
love
more
it though.
blush.
So instead from like right here, all the way like right there.
Do you hope that she learns growing up, and what do you hope she carries with her?
Sorry, my love. I think, oh, thank you, Olivia Banks. I love you. You're awesome.
If you want to go out there, Abel's out there. Yeah.
Oh, that's why she wanted to be done. She was like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
out
why
of
I
here.
said he just.
I'm out of here. She wants to explore this amazing library out
Oh,
there.
yes, we're in a super amazing location. If you guys are ever in the Colorado area, you have to check out the Link Innovation Center in Greeley. It's a huge library and it's perfect for kids. There's so much for kids to do. They have upstairs tons of places for them to create and just be, kids, be creative and be off of screens. But if your kids like screens too, they got that too. But I love the library.
What were we talking about?
Oh, what do you hope that Olivia learns from you, or kind of takes from you into her adulthood?
Yeah.
I know you said you just hope to be a good role model to her.
I do. I honestly do want to be able to be an example to her what a woman of excellence looks like. That's definitely is a big deal to me. But also I'm learning and I've been teaching her as well. We actually have something called, because of that, we have installed in our weekly routine bum days. So Saturdays are a bum day, meaning we don't do anything. I don't do real estate. I don't do anything. I tell all my clients, unfortunately, Saturdays are usually busy days, but I tell all my clients I'm not available on Saturdays. Those days are just family days for me. So I have, I'm also teaching Olivia that it's not only, yeah, you do all these amazing things. I feel like real estate is my purpose. I feel like wine and dresses is my calling. At the same time, God also took a rest, and we also get to do that as well. So that's another thing that I'm teaching her, that is like balance looks like you need to take a rest as well. If God took a rest, then we need to take a bum day.
Yes.
Okay, so we're always looking forward to bum day.
Maybe I need to take a note from that, because I feel like I'm always looking for every little open pocket of time in my schedule. I'm like, yeah, I can make it work, or, so I think I need to take some note from that and just take more time to rest.
I'm telling you, take a bum.
Yeah.
I mean, day exactly. Like, and sometimes Olivia's like, well, can we do this? No, it's bum day. I'm not doing anything. And, I don't cook. I don't do anything. So I tell her, and this is something else that it's so funny. I tell her, I'm like, it's global warming day, meaning she has to go to the refrigerator and heat up whatever's in the refrigerator.
That's funny.
She'd be like, what are you cooking for breakfast? Listen, it's bum day. And
There's
it's all it's global warming, so go heat up whatever you find in the fridge.
That's funny. I wish. Ezekiel's too. I've got a very particular son. I pray for whoever marries this poor boy, because he needs his fresh meal, like straight cooked. He don't go eat no leftovers. He'll starve rather than eat One day I told him, I was like, why don't you just eat the leftovers? He's like, I'm not hungry. Like, yeah, he'll literally starve over that. So he's so particular. I need him to.
My grandmother's like that too, to this day.
Is she?
Yeah, she doesn't eat leftovers at all.
He doesn't eat. He's very particular. Like, he only eats like 5 different meals, like 3 or 4 different meals mostly, but like 5 different options. And you can't change his mind. Like, you can't let him just try it. He's not one of those kids that will just like accept what you're telling him. He's like, no. Mm-mm.
That's awesome. He has that confidence. He knows
sure
who he
does,
is.
but it's gonna be tough It's tough. It's definitely tough.
Well, I'm like, that's not bad.
No,
like 4 or
that's
5
true.
meals, okay. Even though it's so mundane,
Anything you like.
You already know what to expect. So
He knows what he likes.
oh yeah. No, actually, honestly, Olivia is extremely picky as well. Now that
Yeah.
she's not here, we can tell.
I know, right? Now she's not gonna see this.
She's extremely picky. And I texted her dad the other day. I'm like, is Olivia eating anything different? He's like, no, she's basically eating the same thing here. But I think her taste buds will definitely change. But
Yeah,
you
true.
know, but it does sometimes do worry me that I'm like, am I not?
I know, because growing up, I mean, I was gonna eat whatever I was given, and my child is like not that child. He's not gonna eat whatever he's given. He's like, I'll just starve. But or maybe that's a problem. He knows I'm not gonna let him starve. Nah.
Well, honestly, that's another thing that I love about this generation, that we are
Mhm.
so all about like authenticity. Like
Yeah.
this is who he is, and that is absolutely okay. That's not his thing. That's respected. It's not like, well, our parents made us eat everything, I'm gonna make him eat
Exactly.
everything. That's not.
And
Well, at least that's not how I'm raising my child.
same. Well, and I think I'm the same way like that too. Growing up, it's like when you're told like, oh, you have to eat this whether you like it or not. I just feel like that it's not I mean, it doesn't prove anything. When your child grows up, they're gonna eat what they want to eat anyway, whether you have forced them to eat the meal that you prepared all day every day or not. They're gonna grow up and they want to eat chicken nuggets every day. They're gonna eat chicken nuggets every day.
They're surviving.
And yeah, they'll survive.
They'll survive for sure. So no, and I think mothers, like we want the best for our kids, so we're always on top of mind, like what they need and what they're missing and things like that. And eating is a big deal.
It is, yeah.
It definitely is. So that makes a lot of sense. That you just want to make sure that he's getting his nutrients and everything that he needs.
So what would you say is your end goal, your big dream, your next step for your JBS Foundation, and the next step for your awareness?
I'm excited about that question because I am actually exploring the idea of starting a clothing bank.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because we have so many dresses left over, I think it will be fun to have a place where it's not in our basement, these dresses, but we're able to collaborate with, women that have that are out from incarceration or out of, homelessness and need a new wardrobe and stuff like that. So I would love to have a clothing bank to be able to maybe, provide that for women that, can actually really make a great use of the dresses that we have. But also I would love in that space as well for us to, you know how now you see a lot of YouTube videos of like testimonies and things like that?
Yeah.
Like a space where women, we can all gather together and hear someone's testimony, hear somebody's life story. Basically the same thing, but live. Feel somebody's feelings and emotions. This is what I got through. This is how God brought me out, just to provide like inspiration and hope to women out there, because I feel like every woman that donates to Wine and Justice, we all have a story. We have a story. Like I have like this lady that's donating boxes of like 2XLs and XL dresses. She was, she ended up losing, I think she said something like 150 pounds or something like that. But she saved those dresses because she just didn't want to donate it to anybody.
Yeah.
She wanted it to go to like a really awesome.
Yeah.
And because she loved that part of who she was when she had that weight.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so special. I was like, wow, that's amazing that you actually honor that woman that was that way and that you love her so much that you are willing to save those dresses to make sure that you honor her by giving it to an organization that's going to make a difference with those dresses. I love that. I think people need to hear things like that. So I think our next step is to find a space where we can have a clothing bank and have like either monthly or maybe quarterly women get together where we get to share our stories and inspire each other.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a really great idea, and I think that's something that our community really needs. I love the power of clothing too. That's something that I have found so much power in.
Yeah.
Just being able to be sustainable for our planet, shopping, reusing. that how often do we only want to wear a dress one time? And it's
Right.
like, well, now what are we going to do with it? Throw it away, donate it to be sold at a crazy profit margin for somebody else to profit off of, you know? No, I think it's important that we are, you know, using our clothing to give back to each other, as well as, you know, support each
Yeah.
other. Even like for instance, like I'm borrowing my evening gown from another former sister queen.
And I borrowed
Yeah,
your evening
and you
gown,
borrowed mine.
which is so beautiful.
I think that's so important, doing things like that, because
Yeah.
again, we're gonna wear the dress one time, but like how much joy can that continue to bring, and how often do those dresses deserve to be seen? They deserve to be seen more than one time, and then to be hidden in the back of your closet.
Right.
And so I love wine and dresses for that reason. It's just giving purpose to our clothing, and it's such an easy way that you can, you know, look through your closet. You're like, how can I give back today? That's not going to cost me anything. I have this dress that's been sitting here. I'm not going to wear it, and it can go to a really great cause. So I love that, the power of clothing. And there's so many ways, like, and I think
Power
even
of Clothing,
having
that's
that,
a good title.
yeah, and even having that space, I think, is so important, because it also gives people, you know, a shame-free place to shop and feel like a queen, you know? Like, you can come here, you can spend your money, you're gonna get amazing dresses, you're giving to an amazing cause, you're gonna feel like a queen, coming out with amazing clothes and all the things. So I think that,
Yeah, and I think
it's
it's
a
so
great
fun.
mission.
Like, heard from people that's like, oh, I'm picking up a dress for my sister. And
Yeah.
how special is that? It's like, oh, I bought this dress, you know, for you, and the proceeds is actually going to Angels of American Heart, or just an incredible organization that's doing amazing work. Like, I don't know, I think that is so amazing. And I, you know, like now, like in my journey in life, that's like a big thing. It's like, why am I doing what I'm doing? What's the purpose? You know,
Yeah.
am I really enjoying life to the fullest? Am I giving back? And am I really making a difference? I like to check in with myself to make sure that I'm just enjoying life as much as possible. And I think the best way to do that is to be of service to others and love as many people as possible, help as many people as possible. I don't know if it's just me.
No, I agree.
It just makes my life so fulfilling in order to do that. So that's one of the reasons why I enjoy it. And I see myself asking that question again, like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Yeah, because this is very fulfilling. Very fulfilling.
I agree. I think it's important to ask ourselves those questions, because I ask myself the same thing with every single thing that I do. I ask myself, okay, if every single person did this, would our world be better or would it be worse? And I think that is really my personal guiding light to how I make decisions, because I'm somebody that gets paralyzed in a decision. Like, oh, what do I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? And I think a lot of it just comes down to, okay, if everybody lived in this way, would the world be better or would it maybe not be better? And then I think that's a good way to kind of guide your heart into making decisions and kind of be a good role model to everybody.
I love that.
So
that is a good way to make the decision, because actually I also find myself being like frozen and making big decisions. So I really love how you process that. It's which decision is it going to make, you know, the biggest impact, or is this decision that I'm making is going to make a difference?
Yeah. And sometimes even when you think about it and you're like, honestly, this decision doesn't even really matter that much. I don't know why I'm stressing about it, because you got to reflect on that. Like, okay,
this is so amazing.
You know, like this is just a small part of life. And then how can people support you and all the things that you're doing, whether it's your business or JBS Awareness Foundation, even going again back into pageantry? I'm not sure if you're going for Miss Parker again or if you're going to go for another title or system, but how can people support you?
Yeah. You know, the best way to support us is to learn about us and, you know, be a part of everything that we do. So you can check us out, wineandjustice.org. We're very active in the Facebook page, our Wine and Justice Facebook page. We're catching up with Instagram and everything else. But if you want to learn more about what we're doing, check us out on Facebook, Wine and Justice, and just reach out to us. You know, if you want to get involved, like if you're in another city, another state, another country, and you want to start something very similar, you know, yeah, let's branch out. You know, I'll be happy to kind of walk you through what we do. It really is very fun. It becomes a sisterhood. I think it's so important to have incredible women around you. And it's so easy to recruit women, you know, like to do this, because, you know, we all love wine and we all love dresses.
Yes, literally.
But yeah, so wineanddresses.org. Just reach out to us, send an email if you want to get involved. And yeah, support us on our social media. Send us dresses. We have had people from New York and, California and many other places just like ship dresses to us, so that we can be able to, the more dresses we have, the more we're able to make for the nonprofit we're trying to support. This year, we raised $20,000 for Angels of American Falling, an incredible organization that is doing amazing things in Colorado Springs. Please check them out as well. 100% of what we raise goes straight to them, go straight to the cause. And so you can make a donation, you can be a sponsor, you can,
attend our event.
It's gonna be September 28th. Please, you're welcome to come. If you're out of state, out of the country, you can stay at my place for sure, But yeah, just come be part of it, Every year I hear the same thing after the event. Women are always saying like, this is so amazing, this was incredible, and they just want to get involved and they love it. They get so excited about it, and that's also fun that everybody has like a great experience. So please join us, purchase a ticket, make a donation, send dresses over, or if you want to start, your own wine and dresses in your town, in your city, or wherever you live, reach out and I'll be happy to walk you through that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer, for being our very first guest. And check us out next week. We'll have more amazing guests joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michaela. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua.